Peace, peace. What's good? I literally have a little handy assistant. My toe press record. It works. uh, what's good? I have something that I want to share that I was thinking about earlier, and I know I've thought about it before. Just for some reason, it came back into my mind again, and it's just one of those realizations where it's like, wow, I myself have made myself hurt. I've made myself feel sad. I've made myself feel unwanted. I've made myself think all of these emotions that don't feel good out of me creating it myself. And just to give a tiny bit of backstory to help explain what I'm even saying right now, I was thinking about something where, so for many years, I didn't talk to my dad. I didn't communicate with him. I didn't have any kind of connection whatsoever with my dad for like, I don't know how long, I don't remember. It was maybe like 8 years, 9 years. And it was for different reasons. I know that the distance was meant to happen for some reason. But because of that distance and because I didn't have any communication with him, I didn't talk to him at all for all those years. I had a lot of preconceived situations, preconceived thoughts, situations that I thought were one way, because at that time I'm talking about like situations when I was younger where I thought in my mind all of these years I was carrying a certain scenario with me, thinking that it was the way I thought it was in my mind. And now that after connecting again with my dad, I ended up, and this is still, it's not like this happened right away after talking to my dad. This probably all came to be just barely, maybe within like 2 or 3 months. I've been talking to my dad now for like maybe 3 years. And just now, dots are being connected where I'm realizing a lot of the hurt that I was carrying from when I was younger, with thinking that my dad didn't want to take me with him, thinking that my dad didn't want to be with me, thinking that something was wrong with me because I at that time felt like I was being pushed aside, like my brother was being chosen over me, like if I wasn't good enough to be the one to go with my dad, to share time with my dad and different things. And like in specific, there was a lot of times where I wanted to go with my dad. I was really close with my dad when I was younger. I was really close with him. I was like, I was a dad's girl, you know, and I always wanted to be with my dad. I remember I always wanted to be with my dad, and it would hurt me a lot when my dad would tell me that I couldn't go with him wherever he was going. And there were situations that my brother would go with him. My brother would go even traveling to different places with him, and I couldn't go. And all this time, all these years, for years and years and years, I held this energy and this emotion that I didn't let pass through me because, hold on, I need a pause really quick. Peace. Okay, we're back. So yeah, I had been holding on to all of these emotions, thinking that things were a certain way because that's how I perceived them to be. I was thinking that my dad didn't want to take me. I was thinking that my brother was better than me, to take him instead of me. I was thinking that I wasn't, I don't know, maybe I could have thought I wasn't cool enough to take my brother was cooler than me, and that's why he would choose to take him over me. I created, I don't know how many different scenarios and how many different thoughts in my own mind, thinking that things were a certain way. And this whole time, it hurt me. It hurt me. It transpired into different things that I ended up taking into friendships, maybe not friendships, relationships. Yeah, thinking I wasn't good enough, thinking I wasn't worthy enough, thinking that somebody else was better than me, which I shouldn't have even been comparing anything outside of me to myself. We shouldn't compare ourselves to anything. But I was creating all of these things that were just hurting me and making me sad by choice. And it took years and years and years. Maybe this is probably fast forwarding, probably 20 years later, to where I've now recently, within these recent months, I've realized through communicating with not just my dad, but with people in the family, my brother. And until now, I came to the realization that things weren't how I thought they were. My dad, how I'm now perceiving it and realizing it. I'm allowing myself to perceive it from a brighter side. That doesn't make me feel bad anymore. And because of that, I was brought truth. I now receive the truth of what was going on back then and why my dad didn't want to take me with him. Why my dad sometimes chose to take my brother with him. Why my dad decided to leave me behind. And I realize now that it was my dad actually protecting me. My dad wasn't doing good things back then. And it was like, even if it was intentional and unintentional, in a way, my dad was protecting me from all those energies of where he was going to, with who he was hanging around with, what they were doing. I don't even really know. I just know that I was being protected at that time and I didn't even realize it. I thought that it was something that it wasn't. I was creating all of these things, making myself feel worse, feel bad, feel sad, feel heartbroken, feel not worthy, feel not appreciated, feel like I'm not good enough, feel like something was wrong with me, when the whole time it was something completely different. And it was actually for my benefit. It was for my protection. It was for my peace. It was for my sanity. Who knows if at some point I could have seen something that would have tainted and traumatized my entire memory and my entire spirit. That would have then caused something for me to end up having to heal from and trying to release. And I mean, once you see something, you can't unsee it. So I don't even know. I can go on and on and on of thinking of scenarios as to what could have happened had my dad decided to take me. Had I been a part of whatever in different situations. And I say all that because that's not the only time where I've literally thought that something was one way or certain ways, and it was actually something completely different. That was the reality of it. The reality of it was actually different. It's happened to me so many different times, and it's always like a big humbling experience to really realize, like, sometimes we think we know everything that's going on, and we really don't. We really don't even know the half of it. We really don't even know, maybe even sometimes we don't even know part of it. Sometimes we might know a little bit. Most times we really don't. We really don't know what's going on, what's transpiring in our lives that is protecting us from something, that is helping us remain in peace, that is protecting our innocence, our innocence. Once we see certain things, once we hear about start to involve ourselves with different experiences that are not of our greatest good, and that can taint our thoughts, our mind, our heart. Because once we see things, we can't unsee it. Just like movies, it's like once you see what's going on in the movies, from terror, horror, murder, slaughters, war movies, your mind has already seen it, and our brain doesn't know the difference between an actual experience or something that we could literally imagine something. And if we feel all the emotions, smell how the air could be if it's outside, if we can place ourselves in that as the present moment, our mind doesn't know the difference. That means we've experienced it already. So when we're watching certain things, certain movies, certain shows, listening to certain music and these frequencies, even in the movies, they play these eerie frequencies. I can't stand them. I instantly feel my spirit feeling uncomfortable. I feel it instantly. But those things that they put on movies, those horror movies, those terror shows, the war movies, all of these gory films and shows and music, your mind doesn't know the difference if you're actually experiencing it or not. And once you've seen it, your mind, it's already in your mind. You're never going to be able to unsee that again. It's traumatizing, and we don't even realize it. That's why kids, when they go watching a scary movie at night, they have nightmares, because their spirit is left with that uneasiness, and the frequencies untune our frequency. They untune our vibration. They disbalance us, our spirit. So I don't I'm very self-disciplined with myself. I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't hang out with certain energies that I don't feel safe or comfortable with. um I just won't do it to myself, because now I care, and I love myself enough to be like, you know what, I don't want to put myself through that. I don't want to feel the emotions of feeling uneasy after I watch that movie. I don't want to even watch that stuff and have those visual effects come into my eyes, because then they're there forever. The music, the frequencies that they play is just eerie. Why am I going to want to listen to that screechy, eerie music? That doesn't make me feel good at all. Why do I want to be tense watching something like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to pop out? No, that's like super bad for the nervous system. Super, super heavy for the nervous system. So, going back to the original message. Many times we ourselves we start to believe things that aren't even true. We believe things that aren't even true. We come up with scenarios. We think that this person meant something, when in reality, something completely different is what transpired. When in reality, that person actually meant something totally different. There's so many misunderstandings that happen. There's so many miscommunication, because we think we know it all. Because we think, no, this is what happened. This is how it happened. When in reality, there's so many other puzzle pieces to the puzzle. We're just one puzzle. We're just one piece to the big puzzle of everything. And unless we were there, even when we are there, sometimes there's still other puzzle pieces that we don't even realize are in the background making moves. There's no way that we can ever know anything unless we're God, unless we're source, unless we're creator. Other than that, there's so much room, and there's a lot of wiggle room for things to be something entirely different. I don't know if I got an N on my pen. I don't think so. Okay. So I feel like we should give ourselves more grace. We should, not should, not should. We could. We could. I don't like to say should because nobody should do anything. We could do. It's a choice. We could give ourselves more grace and give others more grace and just give life itself more grace, where it's like, you know what? Yes, maybe it could have been this scenario. Maybe. However, there's still that other possibility that it could have been something different. It could have been something different. It could very well have been the complete opposite of what we're thinking. Maybe it could have a grain of what we're thinking, but maybe the bigger picture of it really was something completely different. So I feel it all comes down to a choice. It's a choice to choose to be sad over something that we have very little information over. It's a choice to also let it drag for years. It was a choice of mine to let all that sadness and all of these different little things that I decided as a choice to let it affect me in one way or another, even if it's just emotionally. 1 2 2 1 1 2 2 2 1 2 2 3. It's our choice if we decide to move forward only to move backward. 1 2 2 1. Or we move forward, maybe stay stagnant a little bit. 1 2 2 2. Or maybe it could be a choice to just keep moving forward in all of the choices that we make, our choices with our emotions, our choices with how we choose to perceive things, especially when it involves others, through how we choose to perceive it within ourselves. 1 2 2 3, and continue to just look ahead, continue moving forward. So maybe there's a situation where you're still holding it on, you're still carrying it with you, and you might be completely certain and sure that it's one way. I think I was probably certain and sure that, like, yeah, like, my dad didn't want to be with me. My dad preferred my brother over me, which again, I shouldn't have even been thinking that way, comparing anything. I was pretty sure of it for many years, especially because there was many points where my dad would talk to my brother and not me, and that even played a bigger role in me continuing to think that, like, yeah, my dad preferred, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever it is. And even just that, me not having communicated with my dad for so many years, yes, it had a lot to do with a lot. And I just don't think that my dad was even in a good place for us to communicate. And that was also protection. But there were a lot of moments where even with me not talking to my dad, I was taking it in a negative way. I was taking it in a negative light. I was just putting myself down more, making myself more sad by thinking like, oh, he doesn't this, oh, he doesn't that, oh, he this, he that, he that. Now I'm at peace with it. And the only reason I'm at peace with it is because I'm in a whole other, I perceive it under a whole new light. And yes, it helps to communicate with others. Now we communicate. We talk about how we feel and how things were back then, and communication can be such a beautiful thing when there's harmony, when there's peace, when all parties are coming from the lens, from the heart, that we're not trying to hurt one or the other. coming from a place of understanding and just gentleness. 1551. So I don't know what it is that you could maybe be emotionally experiencing right now, or maybe you just went through a situation and you're hurting yourself over thinking that it's a certain way. And again, maybe it is. At the same time, maybe it's also not. Maybe there's also something else that you're not aware of and you aren't fully seeing the bigger picture of right now. It could take you years, like it took me years. It took me over 20 years to realize what things really were. It could also be never. The beautiful thing is that we have free will. We have choice to decide how it is that we're going to perceive things, how it is that we're going to choose to move forward. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, or we're going to choose to just keep hopping back and forth. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 0. I don't know. I'm kind of just playing with the numbers right now. Oh, that's hilarious. Charlie boy. Oh, he's about to start barking. Yeah. So if I leave you with anything, I leave you with just saying to be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself and be gentle with others. Be gentle with the situation. And remember that the choice is in our hands. The power is in our hands through our choices. Through our choice to decide that, you know what, even if it looks this way to me right now, and even if it is that way that I think it is, there's still something beautiful that is coming from this, that is to come from this, that is unfolding from this. I don't know why. I don't have to know why. We never have to know why. All we really need to do is just trust and have faith that for some reason it unfolded how it did. And there's protection there for us. There's love there for us. There's bliss there for us. There's peace there for us. And there's always going to be something that we can choose to heal. Even if it's just feeling happy is healing. Feeling gratitude is healing. Feeling peace over a situation is so healing. So I wish you healing. I wish you peace through whatever it is that you're emotionally facing right now. It's up to you how you're going to decide how to perceive it, how you're going to decide to move forward or choose to remain stuck in those emotions and leave yourself there for years and have it affect you in all kinds of different ways. It's our choice. So I'm just here to give you a little gentle reminder that we have the power. You have the power to perceive however you want to perceive every situation. And the most powerful thing that we can do for ourselves is just literally take a deep breath and just hold faith that there's something there for you to take from it. There's greater things unfolding for you that haven't unfolded just yet. So try not to be hard on yourself, be tough on yourself, and think of things and scenarios that make you feel more sad. Because I promise many times they're not as it seems. It's not as it seems. I leave you with peace. Till next time. Got my assistant about to press stop. Peace out from my toe.